Hey everybody, how you doing? Shane here from the Brookings home team, powered by Century 21. It is August 1st, and that means I have a new featured charitable organization. I've got Pastor Mike here with Teen Challenge of the Dakotas, and they are actually this month's featured charitable organization. I appreciate Mike and your group for doing this on short notice. I know we kind of crammed this all in here, so no thank you for doing that. But we're going to learn today a little bit about what Teen Challenge does, why they're important here in the Brookings community, and maybe some things on how you guys can maybe help Teen Challenge too. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
So I guess just kind of start with about you. I know you said you've been here for a little while, but maybe talk a little about yourself and how you got involved with Teen Challenge.
Yeah, well, actually, Shane, the way I became involved originally was having my own problems.
Okay.
So I was a young married man, about 27 years old, when I actually went to Teen Challenge in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up in the southern New Jersey area, big Eagles fan. Go Eagles! But yeah, I was married with children and actually had some success in construction, had a small business.
Oh.
But I also had some issues with drugs and alcohol,
okay.
And things that stemmed from my youth, and things that I thought I had outgrown or gone past, and yet they resurfaced in my life and almost cost me my family and everything. And so I became involved with the church, and as I struggled, the pastor of that church told me that there's a place called Teen Challenge, and that I should go, because
yeah.
I had a real destructive binge pattern.
Oh no!
So
okay.
I would be fine for a number of months sometimes, and then suddenly I would just bottom out and go downward. So it was a real painful, powerful, destructive pattern that was clearly going to cost me my life and certainly my family.
Yeah.
So before it was too late, I listened, and I knew I needed the extra help, that not just a rehab or a brief stint in a rehab would take care of. I had dabbled in AA and NA meetings a little bit.
Okay.
Never really felt comfortable there. Never really felt like just talking about it all the time was going to help me change it. And then Teen Challenge was a beacon of hope.
Okay.
It's residential, it's long term, and I submitted and I went, and it was very hard because I had to leave my family and go live in the facility.
Okay.
And I did that, and it was very difficult, but it was extremely life-changing. And because what they do at Teen Challenge and what we do here is, you don't just deal with addiction per se, you deal with the whole person. Soul, body, and spirit. So you help a man discover his purpose, help him begin to discern and address what's really eating him, so to speak, what's inside the heart and the spirit of a man that makes him struggle and be depressed or bitter, deal with anger issues and pride and fear.
Sure.
And so that holistic nature is what really makes Teen Challenge as successful as it is.
Okay. Well, interesting. Yeah. So I'm sure you could go on and talk about that.
Sorry, folks.
So no, that's very interesting. So, so then you got involved with Teen Challenge then. After
I was
all
able to barely hang on to my construction business and got out of Teen Challenge, back to my family with newfound hope and excitement and zeal for life, and feeling a lot of healing inside my heart, and dealing with self-image issues and insecurity and fear of failure. So all these things were addressed, and was helped greatly. And faith is obviously the major component of Teen Challenge ministry. We're believing that if you do what God says, how can you fail? I mean, you might struggle and even fall, but if you have faith and you have hope and vision, you can get back up and take the shots, go through the storms of life, and then actually persevere and grow character. And the Bible says that when you persevere, you develop character, and character produces hope. So yeah, I discovered that hope, found that vision for my life and future, and came back and just went back to construction, but just felt a calling deep in my heart. And at first I didn't know what I would do about that. You know, I remember talking to my wife Denise, and at first we're like, hey, let's just get stable, let's just get the bills paid and get caught up. So then, but after a while, after about three years or so, we really sensed that God wanted to use my life and our lives together. And Denise, my wife, was real brave. She wasn't fearful, and she loves the Lord, and felt that same unction, if you will, that calling. So we wound up moving our whole family from New Jersey to Colorado.
Okay.
And it was a big journey, a big sojourn.
I bet. Yeah.
Yet so from there we thought we might help begin a Teen Challenge program there. And what happened was we wound up going to Missouri and working on staff at a Teen Challenge program. So from there we wound up coming to this Teen Challenge in Brookings, and never even dreamed of a place called South Dakota. Yet we've discovered what a wonderful place it is. And I raised my daughters here.
Okay.
And I've been with the Teen Challenge ministry here for over 24 years.
24.
Yeah, and after only a short time here, they asked me to be the director, which I had no aspirations for.
Sure.
But the Lord works in funny ways, you know, and so we answered that call, and it's just been it's been a trial and a struggle, but it's been rewarding and awesome.
Yeah, I know you said this past week's been very busy with stuff going on that typically is not, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that takes place on a daily basis here. So, so 24 years. You've been a director for like 21 years of that?
No, 23.
23.
Yeah, in fact, after 8 months here, I worked at Teen Challenge for 2 years before coming here, almost 3.
Okay.
So I've been with Teen Challenge like 27 and a half years, but as far as a staff member, but leading here for almost the whole 24. And so we've developed a great staff. All of our staff members that are male staff that work directly with the men are actually former graduates of the program.
Oh, okay.
So they expressed a desire to serve, got some training, and then we do the bulk of the training right here.
Oh, okay.
Because there's no place like here to really learn how to be a people helper.
Okay.
So the men are always involved, as I am, with continued education and development, personal growth, and spiritual studies, and curriculum that's offered by Teen Challenge, and training materials to be a good, healthy staff member. Okay. So it's a pretty cool story.
Is it just? It's just for men, or
this is just for men here? We our hearts are open to maybe a women's center someday in the future, but it's such a colossal undertaking.
Yeah.
And my heart is to be a part of that in any way I can be. But for right now, it's just the men, 18 years and older. So the name Teen Challenge is a little misleading, but I'm happy to explain it whenever a judge or a courtroom or an attorney or anybody asks me about the name. Back in 1958 in New York City is how the program started. So it was, I guess, primarily younger people that were hooked on drugs and prostitution and gang involvement, and the story is chronicled in a book called The Cross and the Switchblade. So you can usually find that somewhere on maybe Amazon or whatever, but it's a great story and true story. Yeah. So now there are about maybe 250 Teen Challenge centers across the United States, and now it's an international, worldwide ministry. Russia, Ukraine, you know, just in fact, there's even a Muslim country that Pakistan has opened a Teen Challenge. I don't know if it's still operating, but they asked for our help because they have such a problem with opiates and other life-controlling issues. So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
What does Teen Challenge do for Brookings?
Yeah, well, what part of our program here is, of course, we help with getting guys out of the local jail, and instead of sending them to prison, giving them a chance to rebuild their lives and get healing inside themselves. If they're a deadbeat dad, we're giving them a chance to overcome that guilt and shame, deal with the responsibility that they've neglected, primarily due to their own pain and their own addiction issues. But part of our training here and mentoring with the men is to help them understand the value of community. So we are very involved with the Brookings community, and we do all sorts of service projects. We work with the Harvest Table feeding program. We've been doing that for many, many years. We serve with Habitat for Humanity. We do projects with them when we can.
Okay.
We've helped the school when they had new playground equipment that needed to be placed. We brought a busload of dudes over there. Recently, we just went over and helped clean up the storm damage at the cemetery. You know, just trying to do what we can when we can to help people.
That's awesome.
Building beds for kids without beds.
You guys are out there helping. Yeah.
We're involved with them, and we just had a group of our re-entry students, which is the latter 6 months of the programming, where the guys get jobs full time and kind of transition back into the community, with like a halfway house type of thing. Helping them deal with money and finances, and personal finances rather, and just saving and budgeting.
Nice.
And dealing with real temptation again, you know. Yeah. So, but those men have gotten involved with delivering the beds to the families that need them and the children, and that has had a profound impact on our students, because they themselves perhaps neglected their own kids at one time. And we help with the women's abuse shelter too. They'll call upon us. The point is, the community knows that if they're in a bind, we are one of the places that they can ask. We can't always help everybody because we have a program. But part of our program is teaching our men to not be selfish or self-centered, but to be givers instead of takers. So it's a big, big part of it. And the curriculum in general is about personal growth and facing reality, dealing with responsibility, and developing character.
Good. Wow. Yeah. All right. Well, we're probably getting close to 10 minutes here. I know you could talk a long time, but could we just briefly, so you have this facility here and then Home Again on 3rd Street.
Yeah, excellent.
And that's part of you guys. So.
We just felt like downtown is our re-entry phase, the top 2 floors of the old Sawney Hotel that we had for so long after we built this beautiful campus. So that serves as our re-entry phase, housing for the top 2 floors, and the lower floor is the Home Again thrift store. So it's just furniture and home furnishings and houseware items, and just you know, college students come to buy things when they need it, and single moms and
my daughter just picked up a couch last weekend.
There are really some people give generously to the store, and there's some great bargains, because you know, we're here just to connect and minister in the community. And of course the revenue generated helps our program, but I have to say we're not making loads of cash, that's for sure, because our prices are too good. But we think it's great to connect with the people, and when we deliver items, we often are able to pray for people who ask it. People know who we are, so they'll ask us to pray. Maybe they have a son or daughter, grandchild that's addicted, and so it's a really neat thing to connect that way. And so yeah, it's all part of it. It's awesome.
Yeah, so don't forget about the Home Again store there. What's the address on that again?
317 3rd Avenue.
3rd Avenue. I said 3rd Street, but 3rd Avenue.
Right next to the police station. You know, and which was helpful when we had guys there that if they get out of hand, you know, we'll just call the cops. But we hardly ever had to do that.
Just come. Right. That's good. That's good.
We were good neighbors, you know, and so it just shows you that guys with problems. You know, a lot of our men have no fathers, and they needed sonship, and so we become spiritual fathers, and just helping mentor and guide and train. I have to say very quickly, work is a great part of our program, and we impact the labor force shortage in the community. And we work with Larson's and Daktronics and Falcon Plastics. We worked for years with Rainbow when they were a little bit more busy back in the day, and so we teach our men the work the value and the ethic and the discipline of hard work.
I think you've actually helped some of my clients move some furniture and stuff like that. You've done.
Yeah, we're not in the moving business,
right,
but if single mom or a person with a disability or an older couple or individual needs help, we do our best to try to help. So
that's great. That's great.
Amen.
So this could go on, guys, for a long time. I know there's a lot of information, and this might actually be a 2 or 3 parter, because you did invite me back to maybe tour the facilities and stuff, and we might have to do that on a different episode. But if people want to donate or want to help in some way, what's the best way to get a hold of you or somebody here? How would you like them to do that?
Yeah, just call 693-9753 and ask for Mike.
Okay.
That's me.
That's
and,
you.
and if it's any other department, I can, people, I can certainly lend you to those that would help you best. But we need donations. We primarily operate off of individual gifts and corporations that give, companies, churches, and just people that know that they believe in us and they know that we make a difference. People donate food a lot.
Okay.
A lot of times we'll get funeral homes call and say, hey, we got leftover stuff, and this person's funeral or wedding, it's just stuff, and people can donate beef.
Okay.
Hy-Vee is great. They help us by donating damaged goods that are still usable, and so it takes the whole community, really.
It does, yeah. So we're working. He said they're working on the website there, so we'll get. I'll try to post that in the post here at some point once you get up and going on that. But feel free to reach out to Pastor Mike here anytime. Be happy to talk to you a little bit more about Teen Challenge of the Dakotas and how it all works out. So with that being said, I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
Shane.
you for taking
really
time out.
Appreciate it.
So we'll conclude today with the Teen Challenge of the Dakotas and Pastor Mike for the August Charitable Organization, featured Charitable Organization. Thanks again for watching, and feel free to tag or share anybody else in this video you think would benefit from it as well. And as always, thanks for watching the whole video here. This has been an eye-opener. I didn't realize some of the stuff that you guys did, and this is why I like to do this. So thanks again, and thanks everybody for watching. You guys have a great month of August, and we'll be back here in September for our next Charitable Organization. Have a great day. See ya.
God bless.